Ongoing murder of Indian democracy. Let's wake up and stop it. Booklet reading dated 21st April 2026. Part 4. Incredible conduct of Election Commission of India in Andhra Pradesh Assembly elections cum Parliament elections in 2024. Let's take a look. Incredible conduct of ECI, Election Commission of India, in Andhra Pradesh Assembly elections cum Parliamentary elections in 2024. In a recent deep analysis of voting figures at different times based entirely on the public announcements of ECI and Andhra Pradesh CEO, that is Chief Electoral Officer who represents ECI at the state level, some unbelievable information has come to light. This incisive analysis was recently done by renowned Indian economist, political commentator and author Dr. Parakala Prabhakar, based in Hyderabad, who also happens to be the husband of Indian Finance Minister Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman. So this analysis was done by Dr. Parakala Prabhakar and brought to light all over the country. In 2024, Parliament elections and Assembly elections were held simultaneously in Andhra Pradesh. Each voter in each booth therefore went into the voting booth, showed the voter ID, had the name checked in electoral roll, signed or gave a thumb impression in the voting register, got an indelible ink mark on the finger, then cast a vote in one EVM for Assembly election and voted in a separate EVM right next to it for Parliament elections, and then came out of the voting booth. The next voter would go through the same process and so on till all voters have voted. Voting started at 7 a.m. and the gates for the polling booth premises were to be closed at 6 p.m. If any voters had entered the premises but were still waiting to vote at 6 p.m., they would wait in line and voting would continue till all of them had voted. In Andhra Pradesh, it's noteworthy that NDA won 21 of 25 Lok Sabha seats and 164 out of 175 AP Assembly seats, Andhra Pradesh Assembly seats. There were a total of 46,389 voting booths in AP with an average of 891 votes per booth. Total registered voters in AP were 4,13,33,702. This figure is as per Wikipedia. AP CEO had announced that as of 5 p.m. that day, 13th May 2024, 68.04% had voted and a large number of people were still waiting to vote. ECI later announced that as of 8 p.m. 3 hours later, same day, that the voter turnout was 68.12%, increase of 0.08% in these 3 hours around closing time for all booths total in Andhra Pradesh. Later, as of 11:45 p.m. on the same day, as per ECI press note, the voter turnout was 76.5%, an increase of 8.38% in these 3 hours and 45 minutes long after closing time for all booths total. As of 11:45 p.m., the AP CEO, that's Andhra Pradesh CEO, had declared that, CEO meaning Chief Electoral Officer, had declared that polling was still going on in 3,500 booths at 11:45 p.m. by the way. Okay. The next day, that is on 14th of May 2024, the AP CEO had announced that the last vote was cast in the state at 2 a.m. on 14th May 2024. Final voting percentage in the state as announced by the ECI in its press note of 17th May 2024 was 80.66%, an increase of 4.16% of the total AP electorate in these 2 hours 15 minutes, very long after closing time, that is between 11:45 p.m. and 2 a.m. With voting happening in 3,500 booths during this time in the middle of the night of May 13th and 14th. This raises many questions on the facts of what actually happened and how they happened as below. 4.16% of total AP electorate comes to 17,19,482. Did these many voters really cast their vote in the middle of the night between 11:45 p.m. and 2 a.m. on the midnight of May 13th, 14th in 3,500 booths? Were they able to go home safely after that? Did the above waiters wait in line from 6 p.m. when the polling station gates were supposed to have closed, till midnight or longer for up to 6 to 8 hours in these 3,500 booths? Did they need to sit on chairs, lie down on carts or floor and to eat their dinner, etc. during these 6 to 8 hours of waiting? Did they manage it all okay? 17,19,482 voters in 3,500 booth comes to 491 voters per booth in these 3,500 booths, or 491 votes per booth in 3,500 booths. Here, like I said, because the voting is simultaneously for the state assembly and the parliament, each voter would cast 2 votes. So if 491 voters is really, 491 persons voting is what should be looking at. So 491 voters per booth in 3,500 booths in 2 hours 15 minutes between 11:45 p.m. and 2 a.m. This comes to an average of 3.6 voters who cast their votes per minute in each of the 3,500 booths in question. This comes to an average of 17 seconds exclusive time per voter to cast 2 votes, one for the assembly election and one for a parliament election. Further, each time a voter votes, there is a 7-second dead time while the VVPAT slip is showing and showing through that VVPAT window, and the voter has to wait there and check the VVPAT slip. The 2 votes, one for assembly and one for parliament, results in a total dead time of 7 plus 7, 14 seconds of the above 17 seconds. This leaves only 3 seconds of exclusive time inside the booth for all associated movements and waiting, etc. for the voter. Is it physically possible to vote like this? Well, above our average calculations, if some booths had less voters and then some other booths had to have even more than 491 voters per booth, with even less time than 17 seconds exclusive time per voter. Makes it even harder to believe, no? ECI's own rules require that if voting is not completed by poll closing time, the following procedures need to be followed. Gates to the polling station must be closed so that no new person can enter the premises. Those waiting in line must be given tokens with number 1 being given to the last person in the line and the highest number being given to the person closest to the booth. A video must be made of the voters waiting in line at each booth, showing the faces of the waiting voters clearly. Voters have to give their token to the presiding officer when they enter the booth to vote. Presiding officer has to record the entire process carried out in his or her diary. All of the above, tokens, videos, presiding officer's diary, etc., have to be preserved for later verification. ECI should transparently make all this evidence available in the interest of credibility of the voting process. Sadly, ECI has been silent without responding to any of the questions and concerns raised by Dr. Parakala as of this writing, actually as of now, as I speak also. From 68.12% voter turnout reported at 8 p.m. on 13th May to the 80.66% voter turnout declared by ECI 4 days later on 17th May 2026, it is an increase of 51,83,246 votes as per Election Commission of India. Why this increase? ECI has been silent. Visible result of this conduct of ECI, however, is that NDA won 21 of 25 parliamentary seats from Andhra Pradesh, and it also won 164 out of 175 assembly seats in the Andhra Pradesh assembly elections. For complete information about this, you can freely download a 17-page PDF booklet kannadaindians.com/SIR or democracy in danger -English or Kannada.